So please tell us a little bit about Ukrainian Institute.
How much would you like to know?
Generally, what it is. What is it?
Well, Ukrainian Institute was formed by a guy by the name of Volodymyr Jus. He was innovator. He created a juice fastener, made his millions, and wanted to give something back. So we created the Institute in 1948. Matter of fact, we're celebrating 60th anniversary this year. And the purpose of the Institute was to basically promote Ukrainian culture. When he came in here from Ukraine as a 14-year-old, right after the First World War, a lot of people would ask him, who are you, Volodymyr? And he would say, I'm Ukrainian. They would say, you're Russian. He says, no. You're Polish. He says, no. So to make the story short, he decided that apparently American public didn't know much about Ukraine, didn't know much about culture, our traditions, the difference between Ukrainians and Russians, or Ukrainians and Poles, or Ukrainians and Austrian. So he created the Institute not too far from where his factory was, out in the island. About 2 or 3 years later, he found out that to promote Ukrainian culture in Babylon, Long Island, it was not something that he thought would be the best thing for Ukraine. So he basically asked his lawyer to find a place in Manhattan somewhere. And in 1955, 54, basically, this building became on the market, became available. And he purchased it. So we've been here since 1955. What do we do? And how do we promote the Ukrainian culture? If you would walk today through the building, you will see that most of the art exhibit is Ukrainian artists. So we have art exhibits. And we also have music series. We call it MATI, Music at the Institute. Again, either promoting the Ukrainian composers or promoting the Ukrainian artist, basically the pianist, the violinist, ensemble, etc. In addition to that, we have various lectures. We have poetry and literature. We have children's programs. And all of that thing is basically targeted the public that walks on Fifth Avenue and in this area. As you know, we're diagonally across from the Metropolitan Museum. So that makes it an ideal place, prime locations for promoting Ukrainian culture.
And how much interest or feedback have you gotten from the Americans?
Well, prior to the Orange Revolution, people would come in, would join us for the various programs, but we still had a lot to explain to them, the difference. And that's why we have a map in the hallway that shows really where Ukraine is and how big it is. But after the Orange Revolution, we became a little bit more known because of today's television, today's media, etc. So there is a less of a questioning on who Ukrainians are, where they are, etc.
Have you Bergen Teller exhibit at the Lehman Malkin Gallery?
The only thing I heard, what I heard from you today.
Well, he's a German photographer that is opening an exhibit tomorrow at the Lehman Malkin Gallery called Ukraine, and it's very good, I think, for Ukraine to bring the culture to the capital of arts, which is New York City. What do you think?
Well, I think the more of these programs that we have, and I understand the sponsor of this thing is our good friend, Mr. Pinchuk. As you probably know, Mr. Pinchuk, not too far from here, has some interest in a gallery on 86th Street. So the more that we see people from Ukraine or any other nationalities promoting Ukraine by going in there, etc., the more it helps, I think, in a cultural way. So I think whoever does and wherever they do it, I think it increases the awareness that Ukraine, who the Ukrainians are, and hopefully shows a little bit about their culture, architecture, art, etc.
What do you think about Pinchuk's Art Center in Kiev?
I have not seen it. The only thing I can say is that I'm very pleased that finally some of our oligarchs are getting interested in promoting other than their own businesses and giving some of the earnings that they make from their businesses in what I would call in non-governmental organizations, or promoting culture and art and music and schools and children's development, etc.
And really, that's what Pinchuk's Art Center is trying to do, is trying to promote culture, Ukrainian culture around the world, and so is the American Institute of Ukraine.
Well,
Ukrainian Institute.
yeah, I'm hoping that one of these days, when Mr. Pinchuk is in New York, that he'll get an opportunity to visit our institute to see this old building that it truly is a Ukrainian jewel.
Yeah, it is. It's absolute. It's great. The art here is really beautiful.
I mean, it was built back in 1897. Everything that you see inside is the original. We try to preserve it. And we had, as you probably know, we have had visitors from every former Ukrainian president to the present Ukrainian president, and all of the prime ministers and heads of Verkhovna Rada and all of this, because it is, if they want to do something for the American public or even for the Ukrainian diaspora, there isn't a nicer place to do that, to do these receptions and talks, etc.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.